Well, Matt, working with cash flow architects, with you, with your group of people, it's it is helping people think how to make their money work, how to create wealth. Matt, I think your organization has great insight, but also foresight in regards to how things are going to play out in the future. And so that's what I appreciate. It is indeed a structure. It's a strategy. It's not a product. You're not just out there selling someone something, but you're actually helping them better themselves. Well, Matt, I'm a CPA by training. I've got my undergraduate degree there. I've got a graduate degree in as a master's in business administration, and I headed out the road of traditional financial planning. And it didn't take long before I realized that what I was taught in the academic books didn't really pan out in real life. And so that's what I do today is I help people understand why what they were taught to be true has turned out not to be true, and what do you do about it? Sure, sure. Well, as a CPA, my favorite part is now watching people's eyes open up and literally seeing the light bulbs go off in their head when we start talking about how stuff really works.
Interesting. Can you give an example?
Oh, there's numerous examples, and usually it's I didn't know it worked that way. You've got to be kidding me. That sounds too good to be true. And why isn't everyone doing this? Which, of course, the answer to that question is, well, everyone who understands this does. Well, I like to do strategies mainly because any standalone financial product is designed for the benefit of the sponsor of the product, the company. And so I believe that as individuals, we can only get ahead if we kind of play one company off of another one and consequently get our money in motion, get it moving around. And that takes a strategy. It's just not static. You've got to be active with your financial management.
How often are you able to increase someone's cash flow in retirement?
Oh, I'm able to increase cash flow almost 100% of the time. The difficult ones are, some folks that say, "Well, I'm good. I've got enough," and you run into that, and indeed they do. They've done a great job of saving. They can screw it up all they want to, and they're still going to have enough money, but they're not going to be very efficient in that. They're going to share a bulk of their wealth with the federal government, whom they detest to begin with. Yeah, well, Matt, taxes is a personal choice. You have to pay your income taxes. There's no getting out of paying taxes on the money you earn when you trade your time for someone else's dollar. That is called fair game in the Internal Revenue Code. And if you look at the Internal Revenue Code, that is the only thing that's a mandatory tax. And so when you think about that, once we retire and we stop trading our time for someone else's dollar, we really shouldn't even have to file an income tax return. But we do, and the reason why we do is because we want to not pay taxes on what we earn, and we somehow are convinced that we should pay them sometimes later in life. And that's our choice.
Interesting.
So, Matt, I think the number one thing that we teach is to think, not just follow the norm, not follow the crowd, because that's exactly what the financial institutions, what Wall Street, what the government wants us to do is just kind of follow along like lemmings, and we all end up in the same spot. But if we can teach you how to think about how money works and how to create wealth, the folks we work with are light years ahead of everyone else.
Yes.
I think our top two takeaways after meeting with somebody is is how disastrous their qualified plan might be. Now, qualified plan, that's a 401k or an IRA. They just don't appreciate the fact while they're participating before they meet us, they don't appreciate the fact that the taxes that they don't pay on putting money into the IRA actually compound over time. They grow. There is no way, even if tax rates go down, that you'll pay less in the future in taxes than you avoid while you're working. And that's a big takeaway from a lot of people. The other thing, and kind of in that same line frame of thinking, is that when spoken of correctly, the tax we don't pay on our 401k money is actually a loan. It's debt from the federal government that they say they're going to collect at some time in the future. Don't know when. It's recently changed to you have to start paying it at age 70 and a half to 72. Then they suspended it. Could it be 67? Sure. Could it be 70? Yeah. The point is they can collect it whenever they want to. And the reality is that it's at whatever rate they want to charge. Well, that type of a debt where the lender didn't tell you when they were going to collect the money, nor the interest rate they were going to charge you retroactively to when you took the loan, we'd never take that debt. We'd never accept that loan. But we do willfully every day we go to work.